Hi lovely! You know what we haven't done in a really long time? A magical day in the life. And today is actually a super exciting and important day because tomorrow I'm finally opening my witchy sanctuary with a day retreat for the autumn equinox with some amazing, wonderful, magical people. And there is still a ton of stuff that needs to get done. So first of all, it's not ready yet. I need to do some magical DIY decor. I do want to get some lovely sunflowers, the flower of the season, bring the cheerful energies into the space to decorate for tomorrow. So you and me are going to take a little trip to the sunflower field. You can tell I have been working the past few nights because these bad boys here are going to require a little bit more than my BB cream here. Obviously, as a kitchen bitch, I want that my guests eat well. So we're gonna do seasonal, festive kitchen witchery for a proper Mabon feast. Then I have to prepare the magical activities and rituals for tomorrow. I'm gonna take you along there and maybe it gives you some inspiration to witch something up yourself. Before I let anyone really in this space, I want to give it a proper, well, first of all, cleaning, but then we're also gonna do it a bit more spiritual. Cleanse the space and maybe do a little blessing ritual. Before we get into all of that magic though, I do have to do two very mundane things. Why do we do this? Why can I not? What's the mouth? What's that? It doesn't even do anything to the eye. It's not that it tightens the skin or anything. But first, I'm driving to a friend to pick up some soy granulate that she got from the big city for me because people, we are in farmers' country. Veganism unheard of in these areas, and since I'm cooking for a group of witches with varying dietary preferences, I have to import such exotic things. I find it really interesting. I've hosted a lot of witchcraft retreats and events now. I find that a very large percentage in that community is either vegetarian or vegan. Personally, I'm an omnivore, but I would be interested to know how you eat. Leave it in the comments if you want. And then I have to get those nails done because they're looking outgrown. And I do have a semi-fancy business event next week where I wanna look presentable. But I shall see you at the sunflower field. Okay, done! My absolute favorite flower is in fact the sunflower, not only because it's a plant that grows around Mabon, which also coincidentally is my favorite holiday on the wheel, but in many cultures around the world, it just represents joy, health, healing, and strength, and basically anything that culture also assigns to the sun, just because it looks so similar and it turns its head toward the warming energies. So I just love to have it in my house for exactly those purposes, to uplift your spirits when the weather is already getting a little bit droopy. And it also carries a lot of seeds inside, so it is also a symbol of fertility, and in a witchcraft or spellwork context can be used in that regard. The different varieties of the helianthus based in mythology also stand for wishing or longing for something. All in all, a truly magical plant of fall. Shall I quickly give you a tour of the place before everyone arrives? Well, then let's go, because behind me you can already see my tarot corner. This is the room that I want to use for one-on-one spiritual, witchy or psychological coachings. I thought I'd give this room a green, tranquil, foresty color, and I want to put golden butterfly shells on the walls to just make it feel very magical. Like when you step in, you really have this serene but also slightly enchanting ambiance. I have a ton of magical herbs and cards and tools here in order to create rituals, because this is also one of the offers that I want to provide for people, to help them create their own rituals for difficult or challenging times in their life. For example, if they're right now dealing with grief or transitions of sorts, decisions, career, love matters, whatever it might be, to get a little bit more insight aside from only the psychological coaching, to have also that spiritual, holistic aspect of it all. This is the dining room and it's guarded by our trusty friend, Mr. Lot. It's a doorstop and I adore it. And every time I have full moon circles, new moon circles here, if you do any type of witchcrafting, or of course if I witched up a kitchen witch's feast, this is where my guests will get to dine, and I'm already excited to decorate that table every time with like seasonal decor, because that's my little secret addiction. The seminar room with enough space for about a group of like 10 people to comfortably sit or lay and enjoy the magic. Go deep into introspection, into ritual, into sharing circles, and this is my passion. This is what I want to do. I want to bring people together. The entire idea behind this place, behind the Naturzauberei, is actually that I want to follow my life's passion, and my life's passion is to help people be and live their authentic self, because in my personal philosophy, that is the path to happiness and freedom and fulfillment in life. And in a society that has become very egocentric, very everyone for themselves, I want to step out of that, and I want to create this place for people to come together and to be supported by others. Not necessarily people they know, but just people who share their worries, who uplift them, who give advice from a place of love. And then we have some secret rooms which are not quite ready yet, so I cannot show you in detail. But in here I'm going to create a Reiki sound bath, sound massage type of situation, in case you're looking for relaxation. And now I do have a question for you, because obviously not every town, not every city necessarily has a witchy sanctuary. I have not come across one yet. I'm sure they're out there, but I wanted to create it here. So my question to you now is, imagine you had this in your town or nearby. What would you want this space to offer? Like, what would be things you were looking for, where you would be like, oh yeah, that is kind of lacking and I wish someone would do that in my area where I could go and do X, Y, Z. Leave it down in the comments, please, or send me a DM over on Instagram if you like. I'm super, super grateful for any type of inspiration. And if you want to come and you want to join the magic and experience it for yourself, there will be a ton of day retreats. I might even do some sort of ritual teaching, witchy guru type of certification course. I don't know yet. It's all still in the planning. Then you're so invited. It's in rural Bavaria, but fairly easy to reach from Nuremberg, which also has an airport. It's only 45 minutes by train. You know, it's not out of this world, only in the most positive sense. Now, before I already spoke about the sunflower and why I chose this particular plant to bring into my new witchy space. And as a witch, I'm very intentional with even the smallest and mundane things I do in my life. I do not overcomplicate things, but when I, for example, bring flowers in and I pick them or cut them so they do effectively die, I think about what is the purpose of me doing that? What type of energy do I want them to bring to the room? And I often draw either from the folklore, from the mythology, from the folk witch beliefs around that plant, or obviously also just the colors and how they make me feel. So I really want to hang this shelf, and I think it's so cute, this moth or butterfly. For my business sign, I've chosen the symbol of a moth because I feel like they stand for transformation, and this is also a space of transformation, or at least meant to be, to help people transform things in their lives to the better. I'm gonna link you these. I did spray paint them myself gold, and now we're gonna hang this little shelf over there. We're just gonna do it freehand and hope for the best. Alright. There's nothing. This is how girls measure, and it never fails. Oh, perfect! Are these the same height? Come on. It's gonna be fine. Gonna be fine. Let's see. think it's good. I think we did it. Hold on. Skills. Cooking time. Mabon, the autumn equinox, for me is all about the abundance of harvest, a delicious food grown in the garden, out in the fields, and that means that for tomorrow we need an entire feast. So what are we cooking? It's ich. Whoa! I promise you we're gonna wash these really thoroughly. Probably we're gonna use different ones for like the group cooking and use this privately, shall we? Have to be played with them now. Gross. We're gonna have bread, fresh herb butter, coconut pumpkin soup, a carrot beetroot salad with nuts, an autumnal garden salad, stuffed mushrooms, and I have the best recipe for you from a very early video of mine where I cooked from the World of Warcraft cookbook, and they're called stuffed mushrooms. Delish. A harvest lasagna, a vegan baked apple walnut rice pudding, lovely autumnal spices, a apple tiramisu, gluten-free vegan damson crumble, deliciously moist brownies, a pumpkin spice coffee cake, an assortment of tea sandwiches, hummus with veggies, a fruit platter, and I guess that's about it. Now I have heard this a lot of times because every time I host a get-together or a retreat for the people in the witchcraft scene, I do either cook myself or I will at least make the cakes. So why do I do that? Well, first of all, I'm obviously a kitchen witch through and through, and I do believe in food being able to transport certain energies. Food is not only super valuable in creating a community and to mark celebrations and special occasions, which these transformative retreats always are, but it's way, way more. I really believe that the intention that I put into every little detail that I put into how I make the batter and like picking out ingredients that really everyone can eat and enjoy, looking at their different dietary restrictions, puts also that loving and kind energy in there. And is it stressful to do the cooking on top of all the planning and organizing and back-end stuff that has to happen? Absolutely. But do I feel like if I would have a chef doing everything that I really am the host of it all? I don't know. It would just take a lot of joyful preparation for me. And while I'm preparing those things, that if you ever come to a retreat and you see me late at night in the kitchen making pancakes for the next day or something like that, it is also a meditation for me. For me, cooking is super relaxing. I have the time to organize my thoughts, to plan out what I'm gonna do the next day. All my inspiration just happens in that moment when my hands are busy. I would be super interested to hear if you too have a mundane activity that really helps you regulate and calm down. Alright, we quickly have to pop by the auto shop because 3 days ago I drove onto the stoop and sliced my tire open. They tow trucked me away and ordered a new tire that will arrive whenever. Anyway, I need to return the rental car though that they graciously gave me. For the meantime, one thing about this is so German, and I will complain about this because that is one of the German things I do not agree with. As you might know, on our highways we don't have speed limits. You can drive as fast as you want, which if you get close to big cities like Munich, Stuttgart, people will do. Don't drive on the left side if you're not like a little race car rally driver. But this Teufel car, which, hold on. This is how fast I drive in a city, right? this is how fast I drive in the highway. And then like, what is all of, who needs this? Like, this is just like the dead zone. Like, why? The leaves are turning, people. Thought I'd use the time now on my way back home to just spot where there's still like cool witchy herbs growing and like maybe a nice outdoor space for a ritual, because tomorrow when my guests are here I definitely want to take them outside. The weather is predicted to be gorgeous, so in the afternoon we're being little green witches and we're foraging for some cool shit. There's still quite a lot to find, like this wonderful mugwort here. A lot of people also call it the witch's herb. It's said to be able to induce lucid dreams and open your third eye, and basically like it's connected to everything like witchy. Also, I think if you smoke it, it makes you a little bit funny. And just over here we have another great little plant. It is the hawthorn. In herbalism we usually use this for anything to do with the heart. Like, it helps the heart contract and really pump that blood through your body. In a spiritual context it's used in a similar way, and you can use both the berries and the leaves to burn them on a charcoal disc or indirectly over a sieve. And it is said that the hawthorn basically does the same. Like, it really helps your heart move, but on a less physical but more spiritual level. So basically every type of like feelings that you have like clamped up here that you're maybe not sharing, that lay heavy on your chest, flow more easily out, and you are able to share them, to let them go, to deal with them. And I think tomorrow when I have the people here, we are going to come to this area because it's super close to my new witchy sanctuary and there is hawthorn all over the place, and we're gonna gather some and then make a lovely little Mabon smoke blend that they can take home to use for that purpose. And in the blink of an eye, this preparation day was over and my guests were here to celebrate the autumn equinox together. There were wonderful familiar faces that I've seen at my longer 5-day retreats, and really gentle, wonderful new souls that found their way into the circle. We laughed, we cried, we shared our stories, and we shared that support for each other, which was really, really beautiful. And I have to say a big thank you to Olivia, the Witch of Wanderlust, who joined as a participant and did do a tiny little bit of filming, not too much because obviously she was also there to enjoy and to just be in the moment. We went out to gather our herbs, we crafted a little bit of green witch spell work, did spell bottles, we had wonderful food, picked apples, did an apple spell, and then afterwards we gathered around the bonfire for a bonfire ritual, and we actually sat and talked until late in the night, and then we watched on a really big screen in my garden practical magic together. It was beautiful. Some people slept over, some people came the next day to visit the farmer's autumn market, and if you want to join my Samhain day retreat, send me a DM on Instagram or send me an email because you're so welcome here. And just like that, the day had come and gone, and it was wonderful. But with all that cooking, that feast, I didn't even get around to take you through my ritual. But a couple of minutes before the first guests arrived on the autumn equinox, I sat down in the meditation room where I had prepared the Mabon oracle for everyone to pick a card and to tune into an energy for the darker half of the year. I personally picked a card, I shuffled, and the one that came out was perfect for the space. It was cacao, and it says, you are loved, you are held, and you already have everything you seek. First of all, if you have been in the spiritual scene for a while, you know that cacao ceremonies are a really big thing, and I've hosted some of them myself as a kitchen witch, of course. The bonding, heartwarming and wonderfully uplifting energies of chocolate are not a secret to me. but it's often done to bond or circle together a sisterhood or brotherhood or humanhood of like-minded people, which in essence is what the Naturzauberei is there to offer. And it is a space where people are invited to feel held and heard and loved and realize that really they do have inner strength and they have that empowerment in themselves in order to grow from there, and they already have everything they need, and here they get that little extra support. So I found that super apt. And then at the retreat itself we made like little spell bottles, and I actually made one with those intentions in mind and placed it on the little shelf altar space that I have in the seminar room. Let me show you real quick. Here it is! There's sunflower blossoms, cinnamon bark, a little seed from a fake needle tree that I don't know how it's called in English, a paper with a sigil for exactly the energies that I just described, and then it's sealed with this green, hopeful wax. Yeah, now that was, well, technically two, almost 3 days in life, but I hope you enjoyed it. And with that, my lovelies, I bid you adieu. And as you can see, it is apparently super relaxing. Ist es mega entspannend, Maus? Okay.